it's Gabrielle and welcome back to the Barre. In this workout, we're going to focus on building the booty, specifically the middle bubbly part of your booty. So when we're doing our glute workout and we're in a second position, we're generally sculpting the outer area of the glute. When we're doing our work in parallel and the thigh is rotated medially, we're working the glutes that are deep in the middle part of your cheek that help to create that nice bubbly look, as well as your regular glutes, your big three glutes, medius, minimus, and maximus, are also going to be working, but this is going to help really shape the booty. So we're going to be doing workouts today, or exercises today in this workout that are going to be specifically for getting your booty to have that nice bubbly look. Now we're going to begin on the mat and we're going to work on some extension and get those glutes fired up. And then we're going to be using some weights for the building portion. So I'm going to be using a pair of 3-pound weights today. If you'd like to use something heavier, maybe like a 5, you can totally do that. You just want to make sure that when we are in this position and we're going to lift up, that you have enough core to glute ratio strength to be able to lift and engage the glute without dumping into your lower back. So if you're using that 5-pound weight and you find that you're getting this happening, that means that you need to lighten up the weight for you to get sculpted right there in the center. Okay, so let's get our space ready and let's get started. So we're going to begin down on the mat in parallel. So you're going to want your torso to be resting on the mat. And you want to create a nice straight line from your from your hips down to your toes. We don't want any turnout here. We want to have the tops of the thighs resting just nicely right here on top of the mat so we can engage the glutes. Next thing we're going to do is gently draw that tailbone down, and you're going to bring your hands in front of you to just kind of prop you in this position. What we're going to be doing is lifting the leg, and in order for us to really sculpt and build this space, we have to make sure that the energy doesn't travel into our back. So another trick is to bring the forearms stacked on top of one another, forehead down, and we're going to hold that position. I'm going to stay up so it sounds better. All right, so you're going to begin with exhaling, drawing your belly in. You're going to float that right leg up very slowly. We're going to check our form. We're going to find our edge. So I'm going to be engaged here. I feel it all the way up right where my hip is. And I want to make sure that my toe hasn't migrated out. So just wiggle your leg around for a moment. And then you're going to lower that leg down, release, let the glute muscle stretch. Then exhale, draw your belly in, float it up for a squeeze. Good, so you're just working really nicely there. The front of your thigh is going to have to lengthen for you to be able to engage that glute. So if you're generally a little tight in the front of your quadriceps, you'll know that you might have to work on your stretches to improve this movement. So we're going to engage the glute and then we lower it down. So letting the muscle release. Squeeze and then release. Now if you overly engage your glute or clench, it's going to rotate out. So keep floating up. You want that nice little curve and then back down. I like to use my hip bone as a checkpoint here. You're going to feel that right hip bone on the mat. And then let it release. Let your hips be your anchor. Squeezing it up, lowering it down. Okay, one more rep. Hold it there. Exhale. Draw your abs in really firm so your pelvis stays neutral, and you're going to draw the tiniest little circle, about the size of a teacup. A little squeeze. And you're doing that by releasing your glute as you go down and then engaging it to sweep up. It takes a little practice to really use the glute muscle for this movement. So if it's your first time doing the video, don't worry, just repeat and you'll get the hang of it. Good, keep working through that circle. Keeping your core engaged, tailbone slightly tucked. Let's reverse. Thighs facing down towards the floor. If you're unsure if your toes are starting to migrate to the side, just drag them on the ground for a moment, and if you can check that big toe, top of the big toe, you know that you're rotated properly. You're almost there. Keeping the belly pulled in so your lower back doesn't arch. And we have 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and release. Good job. So relax that side, and we're gonna go ahead and switch. Exhale, drawing the core in. Either arms are stacked or pinned so your torso stays put. We're gonna lift that left leg up, hold, find your edge, turn your toes in and out, then back towards the floor, and then lower down. Let your legs stretch as you lift, and then lower down. So go up for 3, and lower, and 4, and lower. Now, if one leg has a little bit more range, or this leg can reach a little further, or if it's a little tighter, it might want to throw that energy into your right side. So really make sure you've got your abdomen scooped in, your tailbone is staying down so that pelvis is neutral, and float that leg. You want to stretch the leg long, engaging the glute, and then let it release, nice and slow. Stretch, and engage, and let it release. Good, stretch, and engage, and let it release. Keep that leg really still. Really straight. Still, we're supposed to be moving it, but yes, keep the leg very straight. You're almost there. Abs are in, hips are still, 2. And let's hold right here, abs are in. Draw that little tiny circle, just slowly massaging your hip around in the socket, using that glute. Tiny little circle. Doesn't matter how high your thigh is off the mat, or if it's even off the mat. You might feel like you're massaging the top of your thigh, that's okay. The important part is the pelvis is neutral, the toes are down, and you're working that small circle. And reverse, little circle, 1 and 2. Try not to keep the glute engaged the whole time. Remember, you're gonna release and engage. Working to feel that burn. And here we go for 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2. Last rep, and release. Good job. We're gonna go ahead and peel it up here. Draw the tailbone down, tuck your tummy in, and then stretch. Just release the back a little bit. Now we're gonna go ahead and bridge. So you're gonna get your weights, get both of them. We're gonna come on down into our neutral, and we're gonna keep those thighs pretty close together for this. So you're gonna walk your feet together and then find your neutral. You're gonna find your neutral by tucking your tailbone, arching your back, and then finding that little space where your tailbone and your lower back meet. Now we're gonna take our weights, we're gonna place them right here in the crease of our hip. And I want you to scoot your heels nice and close to you. The closer your heels are to your hips, the more we're gonna target the booty. All right, so from this position, you're gonna walk your toes apart, and then let your heels follow. So we're gonna dig those heels into the mat and bridge on up. So from this position, you've got those weights right into the crease of your hips. Your knees are gonna stay in a straight line, and you're going to let those hips get heavy. So sink down to where you feel like your hips, your butt cheeks are floating right off of the floor. And then from there, push in with your heels, lift up. And then slowly come on down. Now the tricky part is keeping your knees still because they're gonna want to go out as you lift up. Lower it down. If you're really struggling to keep those knees still, you can walk the feet over just an inch. Maybe you didn't get enough rotation in the feet when you were getting yourself set up. But ideally, we want those heels aligned with the hip socket. So it's a narrow stance. You're in a parallel. Go ahead and lower, sinking it down, and then exhale. Draw that tailbone down. Try not to clench the glute, just push through the heel and lower. And lift. And lower. We're gonna hold at the top here in 4. And 3. Keep those knees nice and still. And 2. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Let's just focus on the glutes. And 1. Hold here at the top. Lower down just 2 inches. And you're going to tuck and tuck, tuck and tuck. So you're tucking that tailbone, drawing the belly up and in. It's this nice little squeeze. You're going for that good burn right in the middle of the booty. And lower right above the mat. Don't touch the mat. We're going to work from here. Little lift, 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 lift. You're drawing the tailbone down and down. It's a little bit of a tuck and tuck, tuck and tuck. You're going to feel that burn kicking in. Here we go. Full range. One more time. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Good burn. Hang in there. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and release, and set those weights off to the side. We're now going to take it up into our tabletop, and you're only going to need 1 weight. Right here. So get yourself into your tabletop position. You're going to bring that weight behind you and just grab a hold of it with your knee gently. Now when we're doing this exercise, as we lift this leg up, what's going to happen is your body is going to want to twist open. So you want to keep those hips right here. Now exhale, flex the foot, draw that weight up. Good, let's hold it here. That's where you're going to check. Your body's going to want to open. Keep those hips down. And here you're going to squeeze up and squeeze up. So your abs are firm. We are leaning into that arm. So you're again holding the core still, holding the back still. Good. Keep stamping that heel up into the ceiling. Draw that rib cage down. You're trying to create a nice firm base here so you can squeeze and squeeze, squeeze and squeeze. Now point your toe, continue. Really finding that edge, reaching as high up as you can, keeping that glute engaged. Good, you're gonna feel that burn right about now. Here we go, 7, 6, 5, and 4. Good, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Take your weight behind you on that other leg. Find your base again. And flexing the foot, lift up, and then check that form. Check the form. And lift, and lift. So you are gonna keep now your weight more into that opposite arm. Abs in, squeeze your glute. Make sure your thigh is facing the floor. Draw that rib cage down. You've got it. And 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Point your toe and let's reach higher. Lift, 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 and lift. Lengthen your spine. Keep squeezing that cheek. And 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Go ahead and release. And then just sit back for a nice little stretch. Opening that up. Okay, and we're gonna come back to our tabletop one more time. You're gonna grab your weight, you're gonna place it behind your knee. Get that little squeeze. Take your wide stance with your shoulders. As you're in, you're gonna lift that knee off the floor. Ankle is relaxed. Knee is facing down. You're gonna imagine you have a paintbrush attached to that knee, and you're gonna draw a circle. About the size of your core ball, basically. You got it. So keeping your spine nice and strong and working that knee behind you. You got it. Go behind you. Working your best to keep the pelvis still. It's the most important part. That's where your muscles are anchored towards. Anchored to. And let's reverse that circle. So now you're going to go up, around, and then in. Be careful that knee doesn't start to travel in front of your hip bone. You're working behind you. Drawing a little circle behind. Keep working steady. You're gonna feel those shakes. Use your upper body. Almost there. And 3, and 2, and 1. Great job. Let's switch sides. So take that weight behind the knee. Come back. Find your position. Sometimes you just need like fresh turf on the mat. So that way it's nice and squishy underneath the knees. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go around and around. Same thing. Really keep your hips nice and still. Don't let the foot rotate. You got it. You're pressing out, around, in. Out, around, in. Drawing that little circle. And 2. And 1. Here we go, reverse the circle. Good, abs are engaged. Watch your knee. Make sure that as you're drawing that circle, it is staying behind your hip. Good, and that you don't have the thigh rotated into a turnout. Keep everything facing down. Good, relying on that right arm, you're almost there. And you've got 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and release. Awesome. So you can set your weights off to the side. We're gonna go ahead and start into a plank. Draw the abs in, pushing, and then you're gonna come and find that half plank. Abs are engaged. You're gonna point your toe, you're gonna lift. You're gonna have those abs nice and firm, and we're gonna pulse up for 8, and 7, 6, and 5. Just flexing the booty. 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw that knee up all the way to the top of your mat. And then get your hips level as you work your way down into your pigeon pose. Stretching out the glute. Bring yourself all the way forward if you can. Now when we're in this stretch, the most important thing is that hips are level towards the mat. You don't want to be twisted. So let's hold here and enjoy this stretch. And breathe. And walk those hands up. Now make sure you're using your upper body to push you away. Let's go ahead and do the other side. So plank, back. Firmly engage your abs. Your feet are going to be facing forward. Point your toe, lift. Make sure you haven't opened your hip, lift. And we're gonna go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw that knee up to the same side, rest. And work your way down into that pigeon pose. Hips are level. And then drop all the way forward if you can. And breathe. Nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, let those muscles relax. Just feeling that glute open and release from the exercise. And you're going to inhale, walk yourself up, and just turn and twist forward. And you are all set. So I hope you enjoyed this booty building workout. And there are definitely going to be more that you'll see in the booty channel. There's going to be a lot of variety there, so just keep checking back, and I will see you guys back next workout.